Well, first and foremost, let me just say that it's great to have our first repeat guest.
Absolutely, man.
And it's a pleasure that it's you.
Actually, I look forward for this podcast, man, because we left off last time. It was a lot of information regarding things that people didn't even expect about, Mm-hmm. So now we actually heading towards the Arnold. I know, like, I don't really speak much, about a lot of things that I do in terms of the prep and whatever with the Y3T team and Neil and stuff like that. So this prep was a very hard prep. Actually, in the beginning of the prep, Neil was actually telling me my head was not there to think about another show. So actually, that got me mad. I was like, fuck that.
That got you motivated.
It got me really motivated after we had that conversation. And I said, what the fuck? All this relapse and shit that I've been going through. It's like my life is like I have so much going on. And I said, you know what? Let me just put a lot of things aside and focus on that one thing. I said I was going to do this show. I took a whole year, not competing. I said I'm not going to back off, not competing. So it's like it doesn't look good, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know a lot of people had a lot of things to say about you not doing the Olympia. And obviously I supported you in that. And it's not just because you're a friend of mine. It's because I support guys taking time off because you really need that time off. Not only to grow, but to stay healthy. Exactly. And that's the most important thing. Exactly. A lot of guys have really fucking short careers because they don't stay healthy. They just overload their system, show after show after show after show, and then they wonder why they burn out. So you did a smart approach. And that took a lot of balls, actually, to not do the Olympia. Because most dudes would just run in there, guns, oh shit, I just qualified for the Olympia. Like my first time really on a pro circuit. But this is insane.
I didn't really know that I was qualified because there was only 10 points, but I did got an invite, like probably 7 weeks out from the Olympia. They sent me an invite and they sent me a final notice that they said, it was actually from someone that normally pull the applications. I don't want to mention names, but she's a good friend of mine. She ended up having the position, handling a lot of the Olympia stuff. So it was her job, So I've worked with her in the past with other things, with magazines and stuff like that. And she was promoted in that position. And she sent me a direct message to a text and said, if you want to do the Olympia, we still can get you in or whatever. So, let me know. And I said, no, my head is not in the Olympia. So I'd rather take time off to heal, recover, enjoy my life and do something else and stuff like that. I said, I put all my effort in one show and now it's time to really focus on next year. So that's what I told her.
That's the move to make, man. I don't doubt that move at all in any way. I think it refreshes you. It keeps you sharp. But at the same time, like we spoke about, you can't let yourself get comfortable with not competing now. Because now it's not like your name goes away, but you're not in the spotlight like a lot of the other guys. And you deserve and you should be because you have one of the cleanest classic looks. So for that name to like come out of nowhere and plastered on billboards kind of thing, like, yo, this cat's going to do some shit. And then you didn't do the first Olympia and then you didn't do the second one. No judgment at all. Mm-hmm. But it's like you want to make sure that you stay hungry.
Right. And also too, like, once you start polishing your physique, you win a good show, like a major show. Like a lot of previous bodybuilders in the past, like Flex Wheeler and also, what's his face? Kevin LeBron. These guys were even traveling like overseas and competing, showing their physiques and stuff. And they created a name. But I'm not the type of guy that's going to do a lot of the shows, but I will do a lot of major shows. So my plan is to, after the Arnold, I was thinking next stop, probably the New York Pro or either
there we go.
New York Pro, Olympia, and the Athleticon. So that's a lot for me to do this year, but it depends on how I feel after the Arnold because normally I like to really take my time to work on my organs and make sure my organs are healthy, that my liver is functioning right, my kidneys are functioning right, my levels are correct, that I don't have any complications and stuff. And, even if it's clean, even if everything is normal, I really want to give it that much time to really, you don't want to dump anything into your system, even though it's clean. You need to give it time, to not get used to the same stuff, the diet deficit, everything you do. Even if you do a regular show has a natural guy, let's say you was a natural bodybuilder, because you're in that process of eating such low calories, your hormones are still going to set off a different way. You're still not going to respond a different way. So a lot of guys don't understand how much recovery and, giving the body time to heal is so important, on your looks. And some people believe that the majority of the gains that you're going to get from, it's basically after a show.
Yeah, that post-contest rebound.
Exactly. So Dorian Yates, I think said, his major gains are basically after, everybody have their own system, but Neil Hill doesn't believe in that. He believes that, you cannot feed the body the same thing over and over again, especially if your body been through that much trauma, it just need time now to really, really recover.
Mm-hmm.
I want to let John jump in.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is what a lot of people don't understand is if you're going to do 4 or 5 pro shows a year, every single year, odds are you're not going to be moving up the placings too much. You need that year off to really sit back and grow. You're in a caloric deficit for, 12 months straight, always prepping. Like you were saying with your hormone levels, they're going to be fried. But I remember what you looked like when I saw you last time. And now, and you had 2 sweatshirts on, now you got 1. And you can see everything fucking popping from every angle. And I'm sure you're flat as holy hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm actually 12 pounds heavier than, like last year around this time, I was 12 pounds lighter than today.
That flat, that back relax shot that you put up a couple days ago on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yo, man, I saw that shit. I went, what is my man doing over there?
But I have such a small head and neck. Even you can't really see my gains unless I show it really, even like flex. But that's a good compliment, guys. It's
dude,
of course.
I always feel small anyways. I don't know why, but
just stand next to me. It'll be me next to you and then John on the other side. So it's like John's a little bit bigger than me. I'm the small one. It's cool.
John looked like he's coming out of that shirt, that shirt over there, man. It's like, what the hell?
Don't let him fucking fool you. That's a medium.
It's a women's medium. You ever see those inflatable arms from the SpongeBob? You blow it up.
Yeah.
That's like that.
The anchor arms. I have them on every day.
Yeah, but anyways, guys, it's like I'm really happy being here on my birthday.
Yes, I was about to say, birthday boy. Let's go.
Even though I'm getting old, but I feel like I'm getting younger. It's
okay.
It's
a mental thing, man.
It is a mental thing, man. It's like you learn from a lot of things in life. And every day you get up, you just got to regroup every day. You got a different mindset. You got to attack life. That's what I'm trying to say. So I've been through so much shit in my life, but I feel like those things make me who I am. It makes me stronger. It makes me a better person.
The experiences make the man.
Exactly. So I know that I'm leaving tomorrow, going to Boca.
And now you've been going down to Boca back and forth a little bit, in and out. So let's kind of like backtrack. So obviously you're getting ready for the show. When did you make the decision to do the Arnold this year?
When I left the stage last year, Jim Mannion wanted me to come to Pittsburgh to compete at Pittsburgh.
Which is a show that you did very well at your first time around as a pro.
Yes. So I didn't want to go back there and compete and do Pittsburgh again. I felt like I wanted to just, when Neil said, all right, we're going to discuss what we're going to do. And I think within that first week, he was like, do you want to come back and do the Arnold? You need some time off, and then I said yes, and we decided that like our mind was set through the Arnold since last year. But when we started prep, the first month of the prep, it's like a lot of things I couldn't get together because life would get on the way. A lot of things was happening, and it's like every day was an excuse with him. And he was like, "Mate, if you're not ready, You know, I don't think your mind is in this show anymore. You should just need to take some time off or whatever.
And your mind really has to be in it, especially, I mean, your mind has to be in it when you're doing a regular amateur show. But when you're doing a pro show, you know, you're going against the top guns, heavyweights all around. So you got to really bring your A game.
This isn't even just a pro show, though. This is right there with the Olympics.
This is the Arnold,
Yeah.
the pre-Olympia.
A lot of guys, like, I received a lot of comments online, and I've seen some of the comments. You know, I post things, like, believe it or not, I don't like a lot of hype. I don't talk a lot on YouTube, or I would say my stories. I post things, you know, and I do a lot of lack of posting, which is not very good for my sponsors as well. You know, I need to just do more of it. The fans love when you post more because they can see who you are. But I especially in a big show like this, it's not that I'm afraid of hype or anything like that, but I post. But people think that just because you're going out there, there's a lot of main competitors that actually plays very well in the Olympia. For instance, I read a comment from, you know, someone that's in the industry, you know, that coaches, you know, one of the top guys in the classic physique, you know. It wasn't very nice. It was not, like, you know, as a grown man, there's certain things, there's certain things you say. Everybody that goes out there is professionals. They put 100% on their prep, 100% on their game. They have families. They're doing this. They put so much pressure on their body. And for you to be a competitor, you know, you've done a lot. You well known in the industry to put certain comments about other people. I just think that's very, very, very childish. So I didn't say anything. I'm like, all right, whatever, you know. But these guys like Terrence Ruffin and Alex Cambarero, these guys are top competitors. You know, Alex is top 6 in the world. Terrence is one of the best posers in the world. You know, he flows very well. So when people say, oh, it's going to be a breeze, everybody gets better. Every show, people gets better. And those guys are professional. So I don't want people to say that, you know. So I'm going to get better. I want to beat the Steve Laureus from last year. It's always the goal. But at the same time, you know, I don't want people to just take these guys lightly, man. It's that's just how I see it, you know.
Well, it's disrespectful to them too, because even though they're your competitors, they're still, you know, they're your brothers in all of this.
But, you know, some of the fans, you know, replied to the guy, and the guy was going back and forth. It was over 30 messages, like, replying back and forth. But it's like, it's just, I just think it's not professional. You know, you got to be humble. You know, you can't just kick down other people. You know, it's not because you're better than them. You know, everybody putting effort to go out there. They spend a lot of money. Some bodybuilders spend so much money in the industry, they don't get anything back. Some of these guys will even place top 5.
And they float their savings account just so they can get to the show. Just
to get to that show. Yeah. And their wife supports them. Their kids support them. Yeah, they're not top 5, but they're still a champion on their family's eyes. And some of the fans, every fan like a certain look. Some people may not like the way I look. Sometimes I may have more hype than some guys. Some guys have more hype than me. But some people like the way I look better than this other guy. And some other guys, they just like the way he flows better. So I just think that everybody has their opinion on things, you know?
The biggest problem, too, is a lot of people don't even formulate their own opinions. They go, everybody's talking about Steve. Yeah, Steve's going to win. Steve's going to win. Everyone's talking about Nick. Oh, Nick's going to win this year. It's like, Nick's not competing.
You better watch out, man. I am competing.
I was at the gym like a couple of days ago. It was a guy that, you know, I was leaving, and he says, make sure you keep your head in the game. You look phenomenal. He's like, you look great. But the one thing you have to understand, he was like, I competed my whole life. He was like, you never know where it's going to go until you're out there on stage, because anything can happen. Mm-hmm. He was like, even 2 hours before you get on stage, things still can happen. He was like, you just got to make sure that you're not stressed. You know, you do everything you're supposed to do. Don't do anything you haven't done. You know, don't trick your body with anything. Don't surprise your body with anything, because it can change the way you look. You know, and he's 100% correct. Yeah. Because some guys look great, and you're like, dude, man, last night I saw you. What the hell happened? Mm-hmm. They go out there. They're like, yeah, you know, my coach told me to do this. We never tried it before, but we was trying to do something new. But why?
Yeah.
You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But why?
Well, that's also the thing that I mentioned to you. Like when you first started with Neil, the biggest thing that I told you that is probably the best piece of advice that I ever got is just listen to your coach, because you had a couple of coaches before him.
Yes.
So even if something sounds off, even if something sounds different because it's not the usual, he has to get used to your body. And if you do something different without letting him know, you put yourself at jeopardy because now he thinks that you've been sticking to the certain plan. So especially when it comes down to that crunch time, especially when it comes down to that last couple weeks, listening to your coach, who now, Neil, has gotten used to your body, knows how you work. Anybody. You're paying somebody, you're working with somebody for their expertise, their overlook, their advice, because you like the way they've brought in other competitors, you like their track record, you enjoy them as a person,
right?
And you know that there's that transparency between you two. You got to make sure that you're doing everything to the T, because they're not going to switch some shit up on you. But if you get like a red potato the night before and he said get white, it may not seem like anything, but you never know.
Yeah.
Following to, it's crazy shit, man. But following to the T will just help with that final end game product.
It's true.
Something I've heard before is don't risk 80% of how great you look for that 1% a little bit better. If you think that extra 50 grams of carbs is going to make you this much fuller, but then you end up spilling over, what are you going to do?
That's a good theory, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That happened to me before.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I did Pittsburgh, people thought, he wasn't lean enough. 3 weeks out for Pittsburgh Pro, even Juan Morel saw my physique, and he was like, shit, you look dry. You're ready to go. And, I don't want to blame anything on my previous coach. I trusted him. He did everything he could, but my body did spill. Like I spilled because, I believe sweet potatoes, my body doesn't too much of it because it's a complex carb. It's going to digest a lot slower. So I feel like it was so much of it. Like I had 8 meals the night before. It was all sweet potatoes. Oof. And my body didn't really respond to it. A lot of fiber. And white rice works for me any day. Mm-hmm. Any day my body just grow right through it, man. It just sucks it up right away. So during this prep, I haven't had a single sweet potato.
So almost if it works for your body, right?
Single sweet potato, man. I stay away from them. But and Neil knows exactly how things works for me, and he knows my body. He knows I actually I retain a lot of water. Like sometimes my physique has this fog. You can't really tell what's going on, and it's not because I'm not lean. It's because there's so much going on with water. You just can't really see. So it's very hard for him to not see me in the flesh. So when I go down there and he can see me every day.
I was going to say, you're going down there a little early.
Yes, he can really see what's going on. He can correct a lot of things. And I was going to say something.
I mean, you can't go wrong with going down there because you got the Dragon's Lair and you got Neil, you're training with Neil Hill. I mean, I love Big Neil. Neil's the homie.
Last year, around this time, on my birthday, is the craziest shoulder workout. Honestly, it's one of the craziest workout I've ever done in my life on my birthday. To the point that I was in so much pain during the session. I really wanted to just grab Neil and toss him around the room. I was in so much pain, and I was getting angry when he was like, "Come on, let's go, one more," because I felt like I had daggers in my shoulders, man. It's like I couldn't relax, I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit. It's still this day. Honestly, it was worse than leg day. It was the worst. Shit. It was worse than I went down there 3 weeks ago, so I substitute a leg day instead for shoulder day. Because none of us like to train shoulders with Neil. Even Alex, none of us. Mm-hmm. Shoulder day is worse than leg day. I don't know what it is, but dude, man, it's like I love training legs. I love the torture. I love crawling out of the gym. Can't walk. I did 10 minutes of walking lunges in a parking lot. Dude, I almost pass out.
It's that, dude, when I was down there training, man, it's that fucking humidity, man.
Yes.
It gasses you out. You feel like your blood turns to sludge and you just can't catch your breath.
The distance that Neil had me walking for walking lunges, maybe I'm exaggerating, but the first going was at least 3 to 4 minutes straight, nonstop.
He's like, yo, go when you get to the Chipotle down the road, get me a burrito bowl and bring it back.
And I had to walk
Take a
back.
rest.
And I had to walk back, but I looked at him. I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" But I did it anyways, man. You know, I did it, and bro, it was, man, it was crazy. But I would pick that over shoulder day any day.
Mm-hmm. You know, it was funny. The 4 hardest workouts I had in my life was the 4 days in a row I was training with Dorian Yates in Spain. And just bang, 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 one after the other. I was there to learn his method, learn his training style, and get the certification. But the same thing, go walk 3 minutes straight. Okay. His thing was I was in and out of the gym in 45 minutes, an hour. And I was going into the gym thinking, like, I don't really get how we're going to do all this in that time. And the way the training optimization is, and, you know, hitting different muscles at different percentiles, blah, 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 etc. I walked out of the gym going, what the fuck just happened to me?
It's crazy, man. Honestly, I think that method, if you look at your history of bodybuilding, you have Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman trained a lot heavier, obviously, he was a bigger guy, but it's the same fundamental system. It's the same rows, seated rows, you know, not seated rows, sorry, bent over rows, the T-bar rows, the deadlifts.
Compound movements.
Movements.
Wait a minute. That you had that hater saying that it doesn't work your abs.
I saw that. Like,
I was losing it, man.
I just had the fans handle that. Man.
I know you didn't even say
I didn't want to say anything.
You did it right. You just didn't say anything.
It's like it's crazy, but
they picked him apart like a vulture.
I'm sure.
I had a severe back injury in 2010. I couldn't really train my back, deadlift, squat, and do anything. I still don't really squat. So the first 10 years of training in my life, that's all I did. It was I was not strong as Ronnie Coleman, but it's the same routine that I follow, his 2003 routine. I had a piece of paper, and, you know, back then, you know, like the phones, you couldn't really have notes and stuff like that. So I went back to that routine. I started doing it last year before the Arnold, like 4 weeks out for the Arnold. I don't think I got a lot out of it, but I felt good training that way, you know? So this year, that's all I did. You know, it's that same routine. I feel like it brings so much maturity and density on my body. And it works for me, man, 100%. Dorian's style is very similar. It's very similar, high intensity. You in and out right away.
You know, people understand is you can't replace intensity with volume.
It's true, 100%.
So if your pec is able to tear, it's going to break, snap off at 101 pounds, and you're only training for, say, 3 hours at 65, 75, 80 pounds, you'll get some progress, sure, but not nearly what you're capable of if you're training at 95 pounds. And there's so many, you know, we're going back to the compound exercises, the basic ones, right? People think, oh, no, I have to use every machine in the gym, but your muscles don't know you did a bent over row or a T-bar row or a this. It knows my rhomboids took a thrashing. My lats took a thrashing. What did it? Who cares? But they're fucked. They got to get fed and they got to rest. It doesn't know, oh, well, you did a reverse grip this week and then a slightly different angle reverse grip on a hammer this week. So we're not going to respond differently. No, your lats are fucked. They need some food and they need a nap.
The one thing I want to say, there's a lot of exercises that is very unnecessary.
Yes.
The way I train my bicep, like, you know, I just think it's common sense. You know, I do a lot of assisted movement for my biceps. I'm talking about my tricep is always rested. Like, you know, my tricep is always on something, and all my squeeze and focus is in the two heads of the bicep. So from the eccentric and concentric contraction, there's so much effort, you know, just to move that weight. Mentally, there's so much focus into just that one movement. And I don't swing weights around standing, you know, because a lot of other muscle groups, you know, you have synergistic muscle groups that are willing to take over to help you aid to move that weight. So when you assist it, it's the same thing when you're training your lats. When people say, what is the best exercise to do for your lats? How do you get a big lats? Is it, wide grip pull downs? No,
Right.
100% not.
No.
So what I normally do is, pullovers, because your anatomy, because what happened is your lats attach on your humerus.
Mhm.
So what a bicipital tendon is, when you're actually doing a wide grip pull down, so when you actually extend your arm far out, there's so much that you take away from your lats.
Mhm.
So
It's
when
a
you
shorter range of motion, too.
exactly,
Like this.
Yeah.
it's a shorter range of motion.
With a
So
strained
if you-
bicep the whole time.
If you put your hands closer, so you supinate your arm, you bring it closer, you actually seated on the pullover machine, like the old school pullover machines. When you get that squeeze, that stretch all the way back.
Yeah.
You're saying
overhand.
instead of putting your arms and hands over the top of the pullover machine, you're saying put it
Underhand.
underneath
Underhand.
and pull.
Yes,
Like
underhand.
almost like you're doing a supinated pull down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you do underhand, but you don't want to go wide. You go a little closer, but your elbows is resting on the pad. So if your elbows are resting on the pad, every contraction you get, actually when you go from the eccentric, you let your lat stretch out. So when you squeeze in the way on the bottom, so your serratus and also your lats is actually moving the entire mass. So there's so much concentration on that movement. So that's why Dorian lats was so big. It's just common sense. So I've seen people do so many different things in the gym, and they believe, all right, because Julian Smith on Instagram do this and stuff like that, I'm going to do that too. Why?
I'm going to lay down and put my feet on a Smith machine and then press it up.
I'm still waiting for a girlfriend to bench press. I figure that's the best way to get thick pecs.
Nothing against Julian Smith. There's some exercises that he does. It's pretty cool.
I don't know who that is.
I don't want people to think I'm a hater or anything like that. But some
I don't even
stuff
know who
is
he
like,
is.
dude, you could just do the same thing this way, and you get better results.
I'm sorry. Funniest one I ever saw was somebody hanging upside down from like the chin up thing. And he was pulling himself up like that. So he was just doing a row. Well, it was just an upside down row.
Ugh.
He goes, this is the best way to train your back. I'm like, no, it's not. You're going to crack your fucking head open.
He should be waterboarded.
So much blood into your head.
Yeah, that's
Seriously.
good.
Probably his eyeballs probably blood red when he fucking trauma.
He had
So
one-
much
he had-
trauma
he had
in his
one-
head.
He had one pop out. He's like, see, my pump is so intense, my eyeball popped out.
Crazy.
But that was Dorian's thing too with that Nautilus pullover machine for leaving your hands on the pads, pulling through. That was
Yes.
the first exercise we did for back day.
It's
And,
it's the best thing for your lats.
Yeah, I was training in
Yeah.
his gym in Spain, and it's all of it's a lot of hammer pieces, a lot of Nautilus pieces, but he made
Mm-hmm.
sure to get that specific piece just for that reason.
Honestly, if a gym doesn't have that piece, it's not that I don't want to train there, but I would rather do back day on the gym that has it. It's always the last thing I do for back, basically, is that. So the first thing I normally do for back is, I normally get blood into my muscle first. It would be a cable, just to get my muscle in the blood, just to get blood in the muscle first, get a slight of a pump, and then I move to the heavy compound movements. As a warm up, I do stuff like that first, and then I would go to a bend over row. So the bend over row, I've been using Smith machine bend over row lately.
Meadows has me do that in his programs.
I like the Smith machine better because I feel like I'm not throwing the weight around as much, like my body, because it's very assisted. So the only thing I'm doing is getting that stretch in the bottom and just contract my lats, my lower lats, to pull that weight. So there's a lot of concentric contraction when I do it that way, instead of like swinging around with the weight and stuff. So it works for me, man.
It's the best way to do it, and this close to a show for you too. People don't understand how prone you are to injury right now.
Oh, very.
There's no lubrication of joints, nothing. You got to do everything as safe as humanly possible.
Very, man. I didn't train 3 days last week. I haven't done cardio for 6 days. Neil took me off cardio for 6 days.
You're getting too shredded on us, bro.
6 days. He didn't want me to lose a lot of muscle, burn a lot of muscle away. So he was actually feeding me high carbs, during those couple days, and we going back to low. But yeah, man, I'm really ready for the show, man. It's like, my head is really there.
I'm super pumped to see you nail it.
Yeah.
Seriously. under Neil's guidance now, and I know Nikki, you're gonna be there, right?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be there.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah. I just found out. So I'm gonna hopefully be there to get pictures of you. I'm trying to get press passes. So Betancourt wants to fly me out to shoot for Yashira because she's competing, and Marco will be there and all that. So it kind of threw me off a little bit because it was like last minute, and and that was the weekend that I was gonna go get the pup. So what I'm gonna do is they're gonna fly me there. I'm gonna film Friday, Saturday. When do you go on? Saturday?
Friday.
You go Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, great, because I think she competes Saturday, so that's excellent. So, is finals on Friday too for you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, let's go.
Perfect.
Fucking amp now. So I'm gonna get some shots Friday. Saturday I'm with her, and then Saturday night my mom.
What division she competes in?
She's my God, what is she? Totally forgot.
I have no idea.
I think she's bikini. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think she's bikini. His wife. I could be wrong. I don't honestly know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no idea.
I got to get her on.
Are you going?
No, I'm gonna be watching from the sidelines.
I want to get her. I want to get her on before we were supposed to get her on episodes ago.
I remember that.
It just with it being in Melville originally at my mom's office. Now that it's in Roslyn, it's a little bit easier because it's closer to where they are because they're in the Bronx. Her and Marco. Yeah. So hopefully I can get her on before then to talk about what she's been doing because she hasn't competed in a while.
You talking about Marco Rivera?
His wife.
Oh, his wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so they want me to get coverage of her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly in Friday. I'll see you. I'll shoot some stuff around the Arnold. Saturday, I'm going to be with her. And then Saturday night, my mom's going to come through with the rental car from New York. And she's going to drive all day and get there Saturday night. And then Sunday, we're going to leave, go to Minnesota, get the dog, and then drive back.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I can't wait to meet that guy.
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet that guy.
Yo, he is the homie, man.
I can't wait to meet him.
He's the shit, dude. So he spent the night at the breeder's friend's house, who's a dog behaviorist, and literally she found all of my stuff, like my Instagram that I made for him, and she started messaging me. So she was tagging me on all of her posts of putting him on her story, like, I have a little visitor tonight. So then I just kept posting it all.
Wow.
That's
pretty
That's
cool.
the best breeder I've ever heard of. All the stuff you're telling me, it's crazy.
Steve laughs, though, every time I show him a picture of this dog because he thinks it looks like me. Did you see this one? Did you see that one?
I didn't see that one.
Yo,
what the fuck, man?
He is so sassy.
Yo, what the hell, man?
I put up the caption when the restaurant says there's no more steak left.
So you're mad because I'm going to screenshot all those and put the funny words on there for you. I'll just send it back to you.
Listen, I didn't know other people told him about the dog, like how the dog looked just like him. I just came out of the shower, right? I was at home. I just came out of the shower. And he sent it to me. And I looked at it and I said, no offense, bro. Like, listen, don't get mad if I tell you this. Because I didn't know a lot of people told him the same thing. I said, dude, that dog looked just like you, bro. Just like you. I'm like,
listen, man, I'm pumped to get him, man. I'm gonna bring him out to Montauk. I'm gonna chill with him all summer. I'm excited, man.
But I didn't think it would be such a big breed. Like you said, 80 pounds.
He'd be like 70.
Damn.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like a fluffy pit bull.
Yeah, it's
Big,
like they're like the Rottweilers of Japan. That's what you could call them.
Yeah, the color, like that color that you got is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, he'll be when he's full grown, he'll be able to just walk up right to the table and just put his big ass head on the table.
Oh my God.
Say what's up. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to get him, but I'm trying to cram everything in because now everyone's trying to grab me before I leave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell you that I'm going to be there. Hopefully Friday I can get in there with a press pass and I can get some pictures of you on stage because that would be sick.
Yeah, man.
I have to elbow out some of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
Do you understand? That's my boy up there. Get your bald ass head in the way of the shot.
Well, it's like the Fox News camera guy.
Yo,
you know what, man? Like the best shots I've got is from him.
Yeah.
Those 2 black and white shots.
Oh, I love
There's
those.
so many of them actually, but The one with the
quarter turn back shot.
Fuck, that was a good shot.
Yeah, I love that one.
I love that shot.
I love your ab and thigh.
The ab and thigh, you did the vacuum, and the other one. That one did very well, bro.
Dude,
like,
you look like
people
you look like a machine in that photo, man. You look like you're painted on. It's wild. I get afraid to show girls that photo. I'm like, oh shit, I don't look like that, so don't look at that one. Bro, it looks like he's painted.
That's a cool shot, man.
What the hell? Very cool. It's wild, man.
Nicky Rizzle, send the check.
Yeah, right? Oh, God. I don't have any checks to send. But we'll get some cool ones after the show, and we'll do some stuff for Gymshark. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to do the Gymshark thing with you, man, because
we'll do some videos.
I know how you work, and I know how clean everything is. I think they're going to love your work, bro.
It'll be great, man.
Yeah.
We'll do some cool stuff. I'm pumped, though, to see you up there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait.
Last year, I'm telling you, last year in my room, I was screaming at the fucking monitor. Because remember, I flew the next day, so I didn't get to see you. So I was like screaming at
You know, a lot of people didn't think I was going to be ready, or because all the water, man, it's like
no, he was ready.
You nailed it.
I think he nailed it. He was ready. Man.
So Neil called me a water buffalo. So that's the name.
I'm changing your name in my contact list now.
Water buffalo. That's the name he gave me. You know, it's like he's like, mate, I've worked with a lot of guys over the years. He's like, your physique is very complicated to work with, you know. And then he started telling me, because you see one thing, then you see another thing. It just changed so much, you know. It depends on the food and my mood. So maybe that's what Cedric McMillan is going through with his physique.
He's always so watery, right?
Always watery. I just think that Cedric Neil, he just needs to be with one coach.
Who's he been working with? He worked with Aceto. Who's he with now?
I have no idea. I just think he needs a coach that really, really, like, just to really look at his physique and just understanding exactly how it works. And he just need to give 100% trust in that person.
That's what anybody should do with a coach.
I was going to say, just do what you and Neil did. Shut down for a year.
Yeah,
figure it out and then go back at it.
Same thing with John. John De La Rosa is down there, and Neil started working with him, and he, you know, there's certain shows he wanted to get into, and Neil was like, no, you're not going to be ready because you need to put on more muscle, even though John is massive, but
his forearms literally look like they're just the same size as his biceps.
It's weird. Dude, I've never seen glutes. Like, honestly, bro, I've never seen glutes that big. It doesn't even look real. Like, it's kind of weird saying you're staring at another man's ass, but you know. But it's like
you just keep reciting to yourself for the love of the sport. For the love of the sport. God damn, bro, you got good glutes. Damn, that came out wrong.
Crazy glutes, man. Crazy glutes. But he's looking pretty good right now.
What's he doing?
He's doing New York Pro.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's right. He did. I think he did say that he was going to be coming up here.
He's doing New York Pro, and I think how many weeks out? He looks good. He looks pretty good right now.
That's dope. I love John. John said he was going to jump on when he comes up to New York. He said he'll jump on the podcast.
Yeah, John is a very, very relaxed, humble guy.
Yeah, I always got along with him. I always got along with Marco. Always got along with Victor. I saw Victor. Victor's doing the Arnold. He looks phenomenal. Dude looks like he's made out of plastic right now.
Yeah, he was above the other day.
Oh, dude, he looks like he's made out of plastic.
Get out of here.
He looks sick. The separation in his arms is just absolutely absurd. Yeah, he looks great. Did you see him with a shirt off, or did you just see
him? Just with a shirt on, but you can tell.
Oh yeah, you can tell. He's just like carved out in all the right places.
I hear Britain's hunting him down though, made of plastic.
Oh God!
He's gonna try to get him.
Like he's trying to clean up the beaches.
New York Pro this year going to be a very interesting show.
Especially all the requalifications, right?
Yeah, man. Depends on like I said, depends on how my body feels after the Arnold.
Well, if you win the Arnold, you're qualified for the O.
I know.
So you're good. Yeah. So then you wouldn't do the New York Pro, right?
I still probably would do it.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think that would affect you negatively?
No. I think you know, after the Arnold, like I said, depends on how my health and how my body feels. I would definitely do the New York Pro. Depends. You know, if I feel like I feel good, you know, I don't get weird rebounds and things, and you know, my diet, I stay on point on my diet, and Neil think it's 100% confident that my physique can take on the New York Pro would do it 100%. You know.
So let me ask you this: going into your last off season last year, taking the time off, everything like that, I think you have a phenomenal physique. Obviously, everybody could always use more muscle. That's the usual. You got to come in bigger. You got to come in harder, right? That's like the usual fucking critique for every single person.
I was not small for the New York for the Arnold last year.
Oh, definitely not.
I saw the picture. I saw the videos. You know, like even some stuff Keon posted. You know, like I was not small. I don't believe I was, but you know.
But I'm curious. What do you think was the biggest part of your body that you had to bring up?
I think I had to bring up my back more density. But I have very, very good lines on my back. You know, in a back double bicep shot, the lines are there, but more density. But I don't think that should have been a problem for me to not win the show. You know, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The current Olympia champ right now won the Olympia with no back. So I'm just keeping it real. I don't really care what people think about my opinion towards this podcast, but it's fucking absurding. You know, because I believe that, you know, his back is just, you know, it's just not up there yet, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
everybody has weaknesses, and it's, in our opinion, or at least in my opinion, I won't speak for everybody at this table, but in my opinion, if you're going to be a Mr. Olympia, and I'm not saying Bumstead doesn't deserve it, but if you're going to be Mr. Olympia, you really have to be untouchable. All areas.
Exactly.
Not just from the front, not just from the back, not just from the side.
Even in
you have to be well-rounded literally everywhere.
An indisputable title. Going, yep, that's it.
Well, I mean, if they went off of just somebody looking good in one area, Kai should have won it how many years in a row, right?
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I always thought he was well-rounded, but I thought Phil didn't look complete in a lot of those Olympias.
And some people say, oh, you know, it depends on how rough comes. If the posing routines is a big effect, you know, Steve is going to have a lot of trouble. Phil Heath is not the best fucking poser on stage on the Olympia.
No.
So like people
Kai blew him away every single year.
People talk shit. People love to fucking run their mouth and talk shit.
But what sells and puts asses in seats? Controversies,
drama. You know. But
what gets publicity?
It's always negativity always prevails, man. Always. But I'm not here to be negative. I'm here to be real about it. But if you're like, I went and looked at some of the videos because I'm gonna do my homework and like, okay, what did I do wrong? But with the pair of legs I brought last year, you know, and the separation shouldn't be a problem. It should have never been a problem. Mm-hmm. But that's what they want. They want more of a dense back, you know. So I did my homework. I think I'm 12 pounds bigger. So we'll see.
That's the coolest thing, though, man. You know, just seeing, okay, you know what? Everybody thinks I look great. Everybody thinks he looks better, or I look better, he looks better. It doesn't matter. But when you see the judging scoreboard, you need your back bigger. Okay, I'm going to take a year, make it better, and then I'll show you what it looks like next year.
Yep. So... Sorry.
Are you good?
You're good.
Yeah.
So those pre-contests.
So even chest, you know, so we brought up chest, back, more hamstrings too. Yeah, basically those are the muscle groups that I had to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And so now going down to Boca, you're going down tomorrow.
Yeah, we're training tomorrow.
Oh,
we're training every day.
What are you training tomorrow?
We are training back tomorrow.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Is it just you and Neil, or is Flex training too?
He's always there when I'm there. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I think he's off on Wednesdays. I don't think he trains on Wednesday, but Tuesdays he's going to be there.
Cool.
So it's going to be him, Rafael, the Brazilian guy.
I don't know.
You know, crazy legs. Probably one of the best guy from Brazil.
No, I don't know. I know like you and Neil and I don't know, Britain. That's about it. I only know like 2 people, 3 people.
And then John trains with them. So
okay.
it's 3 of them, they train together.
That's cool.
Part of me kind of wants to hit that shoulder workout.
Yeah, man. It's
I'm gonna hit Neil up and be like, yo, Neil, send that shit over.
I didn't say it'd be a good thing.
So 5 of us were sitting in a waiting, like we have a little area in the Dragon's Lair, like we eat and chill or whatever. And all of us were just sitting. And then I said, what is the main body part you guys hate fucking training with Coach Neil? And Alex automatically raised his hand. He's like, shoulders, delts? No way, mate. No way. I hate shoulders. And then everybody, and I was like, me too, man. I was like, last year for my birthday, like I was fucking mad. I wanted to grab him and throw him around the room because I was so angry.
He made sure you couldn't.
You know?
Yeah, he made sure you couldn't do that. Weakened you out.
So, yeah, man, it was crazy. It's like, I love training, man. I love pain. I feel like sometimes you got to endure the pain. I feel like you got to go somewhere so deep, with your mind, like, until you have nothing really left, because I feel like that actually helped those fibers, man. Like you're going somewhere. It's like you're attacking your body. It's just never been there. But like that day, fuck, man.
It's giving your body a reason to change.
Yeah.
It always wants to say homeostasis, but
his Y3T system of training is as much weight and as much repetition, and even when you got nothing left, you still squeezing to give more and to give more and to give more, like a complete different level of failure. Almost like when you can't even push the weight anymore. That's every single set that you got to do that way.
That was the basically the same thing as the DY hit style, except it went a little more depth. I'm sure Neil obviously says it too, but you're briefing it on which muscle fibers are the strongest and the weakest. So obviously the weakest and least most important is your positive, and then second most important, second weakest is the static hold, and then the negative is the strongest and most important because of the hypertrophy. So when you can't push it anymore, his thing is have a training partner, let them take care of the positive for you, that little bit of the threshold that you can't get through.
You can get through.
Still squeeze it, slow negatives, and those squeezes stop happening.
Yes.
Come up, have him help you pause it for a second and get those negatives down.
If you see some of the videos that the chest day we did, it was the same system.
Yeah, exactly.
Same exact system.
Because it works.
Thrash
in the body beyond comprehension.
Every day, bro, I'm being honest, like every single day, every workout, you feel like you got fucking jumped. I don't know if you never got jumped like by a whole bunch of school kids in Brooklyn before, so it's almost like you got jumped, kicked in the rib, kicked in the head. Like, I'm telling you, man, it's like getting out of bed, the next day you're like, fuck, I'm gonna do this shit again,
Yeah.
But it's to me, it's challenging. I feel like
that's what you need, though.
You need challenge, man. You need challenge, and to be the best, you gotta.
Listen. You have the talent. So what happens? What is that line? What happens when talent works hard? Push yourself through that shit. There we go. Push yourself through that shit. There we go. Yeah, that's what you gotta do, man. You gotta really just balls to the wall, do it, man. What'd I tell you?
Yeah, he told me that last year.
I tell him that every year.
He was like, I was like, maybe 6 weeks out. And then he saw me and he was like, listen, man, you the fucking boss. You gotta be the fucking boss.
He was
bro.
dragging ass. I said, yo, man, get the fuck up. You got to hit the Arnold stage. What are we doing
like,
over
you
here?
You gotta make sure you're the fucking boss, bro. Do your fucking thing, man. He was like, yo, you gotta work fucking hard every single day, bro. And he was like, don't let anybody outwork you, man. He was like, it's in there. You got it. You just got to fucking push through it, man.
Don't let these dudes punk you. Hell no, man. You go in there with the confidence and swagger like nobody else and just enjoy the ride.
So I'm gonna walk on stage whistling this time. No.
Steve brings a jump rope out there. He's hitting a little bit of hit
Steve,
cardio.
What the fuck you doing?
I wanted to get a little glossy for you. He hits all the poses. All right, ready? I'm going to put him on the spot, though. Did you get your posing music done?
Actually, I was supposed to get it from you today.
Oh, I didn't get a text of what the music needs to be.
So I have the music with me. I have it with me. Neil thinks it's you guys would like that. So, the good, bad, and the good, the bad, and the ugly.
No,
that's the three of us, right?
Oh shit!
Yeah, but it's
in no particular order.
So it's basically from a movie in the 1970s. It's a pretty good song.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
I like putting him on the spot because that's how we met. I think I mentioned it the first time he was on the podcast. We met because he didn't have his music for the competition he was doing the next day. I had to like send a Raven with the CD over to T-Neck. I was like, find Steve, get him.
Yeah, man. So
we'll burn that before you leave today. Okay, I want to make sure you're prepared. Okay,
I don't think the birdie can get the poker.
Yeah. So it's a good song. I think I'm very confident with the song that I picked, and we just gotta go over the routine a couple of times with my coach, and we're ready to go, ready to rock.
Cool.
So I'm going to the Arnold this year with no sponsor, no supplement sponsor.
Okay.
Sometimes a lot of people think that going out there and representing a sponsor that has a booth and sponsoring a major show is a big thing for the athlete and for the brand. But I know some people always have comments and always have something to say, but I believe that Andre Ferguson won 2 Arnold Classic with no sponsors. Mm-hmm. He went out there, he just bring his physique, no special check-ins. He didn't have to fucking kiss anybody's rings. He doesn't have to go out there and pose for anybody. He just kept it real.
Yeah.
He goes out there, he does his thing. And,
oh boy, does he keep it real, man.
He goes out there, he does his thing, and that's it. So it's not the problem is not that I don't want to work with a supplement sponsor, but to be honest, I don't have one. But I feel very free. I feel free, and I've learned a lot from previous companies I work with. I feel like I'm smarter, making decisions on what I should look for myself.
Yeah.
What is the sponsors going to get out of me, or what I need back. So I have a lot of pride. So I suck it up and focus on myself and focus on the show and focus on looking better. So I have Gymshark as a sponsor. I would say my main sponsor right now. I'm very happy with that. Mm-hmm. So I have plenty of offers. A lot of people actually came close to signing with them, but it didn't work out because it's not that I'm scared or making a decision, but I feel like I don't have to pin myself in a 1 or 2 year contract with anybody. But I've been very smart about who I should work with. So there's one company that I really like. My coach is with them. We all know Yamamoto. So there's a lot of changes, and they said, all right, we can guarantee something around this time. I said, you know what? Fuck that. I'll wait. That's it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. I'll just wait, And, it's like, I know some people say, it's the dumbest thing to do because, it's not a promise.
Why? Because you're not dick riding a fucking supplement? Who cares? Who cares? Dude. When it comes down to it, supplement sponsors aren't all what it cracked up to be. What I tell you, you're an associate of that company when you're sponsored.
It's true.
You are getting paid to talk about their supplements and to get sales. That's what it winds up being.
I just call it a billboard.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I mean, you walking billboard. Yeah, it really is.
I'm stress-free with that. I have no stress. I feel good. I don't have to put up with anybody's shit. I feel very, very good about it.
That was something I wanted to say is everybody criticizing you that you don't have a sponsor going to the show. You know as well as I do that when you're in between the show days, right, you want your feet up in a bed. You don't want to be standing up taking pictures. All the blood's going to go to your legs. You're going to be in your hotel room relaxing, feet kicked back up, and no stress in the world. No crazy loud crowds. No shit, I was busy with this, didn't get my meal in.
Yeah.
This is what your mission is right now. You're going to go there, fucking take the Arnold by the dick.
Oh, yeah, you are.
And then, you know what? Then whatever happens, happens. But right now, that's your job, man. You said, I'm going to take a year, fucking hammer at it, and the time is now.
Well, and that's the wild thing for me, especially at the Olympia. They make you do meet the Olympians and the athlete meeting and this and that. Dude, that drains everybody so fucking much. And they know it does. They should just save all that shit for after. And I know, listen, I get it. If somebody doesn't win, they're going to be in a shitty mood and they're not going to want to sit there and shake hands with all the fans, stuff like that. I get it. I get that side of it. But at the same time, to have weigh-ins, meet the Olympians, guests and fan signings, standing at the fucking booths. I get it puts asses in the seats and it makes it more interactive.
Very draining, man.
Dude, man.
But the only thing is that I feel like some of they're mandatory. You got to do them. Mm-hmm. You could get disqualified. It says in the contract, if you get disqualified if you don't appear at
if that's not the clearest indication or I guess you could say, example of it being a business, I don't know what is, because that is crazy. Where it's almost not for the athlete at that point.
I didn't know. Like I was, I think the first year I did it, I was in the hotel room and then Neil called me.
They hit him up. They're like, yo, bro, where the fuck are you?
Neil was like,
did you read the contract?
Neil was like, are you going to meet the athletes? Are you there yet? And I was like, no.
I'm watching Looney Tunes.
I was about to take a nap.
I said, I'm watching Dragon Ball Super right now.
There you go.
Fucking Broly.
There you go.
Fighting Goku. So, and then he was like,
There we go.
So, and then he was like, mate, it's mandatory. You know you have to go. Otherwise, you get disqualified. I was like, no way. He was like, yeah, look at the contract. Yeah, it says it, man. You got to show up. You got to show up, bro.
That's rough, man. That's rough on the athletes, dude.
And I paused the whole fight with Jiren and Goku, and then I just went.
Oh,
The best part.
you don't know what's gonna happen.
You know, so badass Jiren. So I was like, all right.
Well, which time? Which time they fought?
Yeah, they fought a couple times.
Was it the last one?
The last one when Goku actually fainted and
came back.
Came back.
Yeah.
That was the last fight.
You know, someone actually said I
Yeah.
should have named the dog Jiren. I was like, that's kind of hot.
I don't.
Oh, yeah, see?
Jiren. Yeah.
But Kenji's hot too. I like
Yeah,
Kenji.
Kenji is a nice name too.
But yes, that's to get back to on topic because we do this all the time. We do fucking worse.
I can't wait to see a Jiren fight again with somebody. Like Hit got destroyed, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hit was a
There's
very.
nothing.
He was one of my favorite characters too, actually.
You liked him because his 6-pack looked like yours, right? Looked like a straight 8-pack on that motherfucker.
He just looks sick, bro. Like,
Exactly
Yeah.
why. He looked like
You know?
he looked like he was doing the Steve Laureus the entire show. Go ahead, throw a punch in, see what it feels like.
He was just a sick character, man. Until Jiren came through, and I'm like, oh man,
Just manhandled them.
man,
Yeah,
what a beast.
because Jiren had those traps. Traps beat abs all day.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, he has those straps, man. That's a badass character.
Dude.
We can talk about that all night. I
Oh,
don't
my
care.
God.
That'd be a whole different episode.
That would be like, we have to like put it on a sub episode. We just talked about anime all night and Dragon Ball Z.
It'd be the Crunchyroll Boys and Rizzles episode.
Crunchyroll, send the check.
Ooh, there we go.
So you pumped? You pumped up right now? How you looking? Because I know you're dropping little hints, but he came to my office the other day. Dude, my man looked like he was ready for Colorado. Dude, this fucking guy was so bundled up. He looked like Kenny from South Park. Yeah, like I could only see his eyes coming out of a fucking parka. He's like this. He's like,
Listen, I had this on,
Yeah.
and I had a hoodie on, and I had my jacket on.
snow jacket.
You know, myself. And then
Birds were chirping, Steve. I don't know if you know you're not in Boca anymore.
That shit was so funny. Yeah, man. But yeah, like honestly, yesterday was the best I've ever looked. Neil actually had me doing a cheat meal.
What'd you get?
I got Colombian steak
Ooh.
with onions.
Sick.
It comes with onions.
It's weird. My phone didn't go off.
Yeah.
I thought that if Steve would go get some good food, he would hit the boy up.
Yeah,
and he would
right.
bring me through.
You were supposed to take me to a burger joint. So
Fucking right here, Roslyn Social. Send the check.
yeah, I got some Colombian steak with I had sweet plantains and fries. You know, maduros. You know, I had those. Honestly, if someone is gonna poison me, I think they're gonna kill me on that shit because I love that shit, bro. Brownies, oh my god, the consequences fucking pooping or farting the next day, it's crazy.
Worth
But
it.
the way it's worth it, man, it's like I feel bad who's around me around that time because if I drop one, you're not gonna resist. But I bro, it's just like I just love that shit. I love sweet plantains, man.
That's awesome, man. That sounds good.
So
Making me-
good.
Dude, I'm so hungry right now. I've been here since
So good.
Here since 11 o'clock this morning.
Yeah,
my
like the
God.
Spanish places, man, make some really good ones, man.
The only
You
place
never
to
had
get
sweet
it.
plantains before?
No, I have. Oof, they're good.
You like them too?
Of course.
Yeah.
I forget. I feel like John doesn't like a lot of things, and then I realize he does.
I just live under a rock.
Yeah, he's like super plain with the
Shitty?
food.
Shitty?
No, not shitty.
That's very good. You won't be poisoned like me
just-
if you got, you know, no one knows your secret.
You know what? I'm fortunate enough to know actually be a pretty good cook. So when I cook my food, it's not bad. And I cook it always fresh, pretty much every other day or so, or every day. The rice is always every day. So it's always pretty solid food. If I want to go to a burger, I know where to go now.
Roslyn Social, send the check.
That's right.
When I'm at home, normally that's what I do. Everything
Yeah.
I cook has to be very fresh. I don't like to microwave a lot of things. You know, I think I would say 90% of the food that I eat is stovetop.
That's the best way to do it.
Or under the oven, because I don't like microwave. I don't know. I just don't like the way chicken tastes. It's like when you put a chicken in a microwave, fuck, man, it's like a napkin. Like you can't even eat it. It's like.
Thinking about eating a napkin. Oh, it's so wet and just like disintegrating in your mouth. Horrendous.
It's the worst thing.
I microwave a lot of shit. I shouldn't do that, but I do. I'm a horrible human being.
Everything I do is baked, stovetop.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. But I get impatient. Because then I'll start eating other shit while I'm waiting for the food to heat up on the stovetop.
That's the beauty of snacks. You're both.
Microwave is like 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, depends on the food. But like if you put the oven, on a really high heat, like you go poop or shower or whatever, you just put it under the, like 10 minutes, bro. It's good. I don't think that downtime is going to do any effect to me. And it tastes better. It tastes so much better.
That's my thing with the rice cooker is I'll set up my rice cooker every night before I go to bed. So I wake up every morning with fresh hot rice, and I'll just turn it off, turn it back on again. It'll be warming for 20 hours, but it's still fine.
It's the best thing to do. I have one too.
Works perfect.
You keep it on warming that long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an aggressive
crock
move.
pot. I use the crock pot for chicken.
Mm-hmm.
My chicken. That's how I cook my chicken. So it's how chicken breast. It just tastes like shit, dry. So normally what I do is for 12 hours, just keep on running for 12 hours, 12 to 16 hours, low heat. So just cook it. It's like very, very easy, man. It's like smooth
That
when
shit
you eat it.
disintegrates when you eat it, right? That just falls
Yeah,
apart.
it's just the best. I could eat it like that all day because I don't like chewing fucking chicken. Like you can't get it down. You got to drink water. It's like annoying.
Yeah. Are you eating any red meat?
Right now, yes, bison.
Ooh, fancy bitch, you.
So I'm eating bison. I never really eat red meat like that. I started eating red meat when I got into bodybuilding more. And I never had, like if I don't compete, let's say I'm not competing, I'm not doing any shows, I don't eat any red meat. So it's not that I'm not a big fan of red meat, but red meat is not a healthy thing for your body. So, and also too, if it's not bison, you can see if I eat red meat tonight, the next day, the way my body look is completely different.
In a positive or negative way?
See, what's funny is for me, it does the complete opposite.
Me too. Red meat works wonders for me.
My last meal before bed every single night is 8 ounces of grass-fed red meat.
Yeah.
If I don't have it, I know I'm definitely flatter the next day, by far. I'm flatter and I'm not as hungry.
Wow.
So the nights I eat the red meat before I go to bed, I wake up starving because my body was eating and digesting all night long.
All night long, right.
But if I eat maybe, say let's just say eggs, for example, chicken, turkey, something a lot leaner than red meat.
Yeah.
I'll wake up, I won't be hungry.
Wow. Me, if I have it back to back, I have it today and I have it tomorrow, I promise you the third day, completely different.
But you know what?
Watery, it's not that you don't see any lines. It doesn't look sharp. When I eat things that digest quick, I would say that yes, sometimes I do look flat, but the trick of the carbs sometimes will help me. But the meat, like especially red meat, I don't know. I'm not a really, really big fan of it. But Neil's gonna have me having bison this week to keep me fuller. Because we don't want to go out there looking flat. We don't want to go out there looking, not as muscular as last year. We want to look more muscular this year than last year. So I'm trusting his process. Last year, all I had was cod towards the end of the prep. I had a lot of cod. I think all my meals last year, it's me. It's my fault because I'm a very, very difficult guy when it comes to dieting, eating. I don't like a lot of things. There's a lot of things I can't eat, anything that is mostly organic and easy to digest, I'm a fan of. But anything that's like chewy, hard in the stomach, I'm not a big fan of it.
Mm-hmm. That goes to show what a real coach can do and what they can't do. Because what we just said about red meat, two completely different people of how we respond to different foods. And somebody like Neil, which obviously he does it, has to be able to differentiate that with every different client.
People have no idea, man, how good this guy is, bro.
So many things go into this that people don't understand.
Man, the stuff Neil would do, especially like when I did the Olympia the first year, I did 11 flights in a month. 11 flights. I flew from, I'm trying to remember like exactly how it worked out. So I went to China. So I flew from China to Russia. So from Russia to Shanghai, from Shanghai to Beijing, from Beijing to Changchun. So I had to take a flight back to, then another flight to Guangzhou. So take one flight from Guangzhou to Russia again. So from Russia, I had to come to New York. From New York, I had to go to Boca. So from Boca, I had to fly to Columbus. I had to fly to Vegas, Vegas. So it was a lot of flights. And that's the whole transition. It was like in a 6 week period to the show. But when I did arrive, when I arrived to Boca, Flex Lewis came up to me and said, "Dude, what the fuck? You should not be flying 6 weeks out for a show." Mm-hmm. I did, well, I don't know, man. I did like 9 to 11 flights. And then he was like,
Flex is here thinking 2 flights.
He was like, "You're not making top 10. I was like, "What?" I was so offended when he said that. I was so offended because I didn't know like anything about it. And then he was like, "And also you're wearing a Redcon 1 shirt. You're not sponsored by Redcon 1 anymore. You got to take these things and throw them away." Like there's a lot of things I didn't know. Like they give me shit. That afternoon I arrived, they give me so much shit.
My
like,
man was
dude,
sitting there laced up.
I was
with
ganged
every
up.
cozy.
He's like, free hoodie. It's from me, baby.
Yeah, people going, I'm sitting next to Steve Laureus on the plane. It says Redcon.
I was ganged on by these guys when they ganged on me and they told me, I didn't know a lot of things. I was coming into the sport. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what I was doing, and I needed to be educated in many different ways by learning and whatever, the whole system, competing or whatever. So you live and you learn. And ever since then, I would never do that shit again. So I would sat home and focus and eat, not doing a lot of things. And now I'm flying to go down there. I have a long time to 10 days until showtime. So we can, even Columbus last year, I had a 9-hour layover, in Columbus. So it fucked everything up for me with my water, my meals, it was bad. I looked really, really bad when I got to Columbus. And Neil was like, "What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened?" So, man, for him to really work around it, if you saw me on Thursday, actually on Tuesday when I arrived to Columbus last year for the Arnold, you would say, "Steve, I love you, bro, but you're not gonna make top 6." Mm-hmm. Even though I know I was lean, but what happened with the stress and the water and everything, it's like, bro, I look like a completely different person. I look like I was 10 weeks out. Mm-hmm. So he worked his magic and and we was able to, come with a better package. And that morning when I got up before the show and I was like, holy shit, damn, I look good. Fuck.
Thank you.
It's like, holy shit. And Neil was like, damn. He was like, no one is beating this physique today. That's what he said to me. He's like, no one is going to beat that. He's like, I'm sorry, but no one is going to beat that today. And that was his exact words. And then, we went on stage, we did our things, and then we're just willing to come back this year again.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, man.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just doing like a boomerang of you sitting there talking.
Nick, we see you on Tinder.
I deleted all my dating apps.
I
got rid of all of them. I couldn't do it anymore. The duds that I was dealing with on there was just fucking wild. I just couldn't do it anymore.
It's like people go to a bar.
I never used it. I don't know what it's.
Nah, you're not missing anything. It sucks.
right.
It's horrendous. It's
You
horrendous.
go to a bar to meet somebody though, like, oh, you're sitting alone at a bar too. You're gonna be good.
Yeah, it's like a
It's
trash.
gonna be, it's gonna be a healthy relationship.
It's like a trash bin. It's like it's like all the reject. Oh, I can't say it because I was in there too, but it's an interesting place. I don't know. I feel like everyone's on that hookup shit on there, and it's not my style. I don't have time for that. I got my business. I got grind, and I got the puppy coming. I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time for people that are gonna waste my time. If I'm gonna date somebody, I'm gonna date somebody. If I'm not, I'm gonna focus on all my other shit. I have very limited time windows of being able to interact with somebody in a personal relationship. So for me, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. The conversation where you first open up with somebody. Hi, how are you? How's everything going? Oh, nothing much. How are you? Everything's good. What do you do for work? Well, it's the most monotonous, boring shit, and nobody gets to learn about anybody. She's talking to 50 other dudes. So unless you come up with something witty, it's like you have to be a clown within the first like open. it's like you have to dazzle her with some magic. Otherwise, she doesn't answer you. I'm just done with it. It's just
the first 3 days of dating somebody are like a form letter. You'll send a form letter out. Fill this out, please. I'll take yours.
The first 3 days for me is always Nick on his most behaved shit, and then I just and I just become wild, and then they're just like, what? So I can't do it. Plus, like I said, I got the puppy coming. Puppy's gonna take up all my extra time, and he's gonna be the best wingman in the entire world. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I got girls hitting me up. Hey, does he need a puppy mom? Nah, fuck, he doesn't need a puppy mom. You haven't hit me up ever until I got this puppy. Fuck you and don't hit me up. So, yeah, that's my standpoint. But I wasn't Tindering. I was trying to get a cool little, boomerang of Steve.
I saw.
And then I posted it to my close friends, not the actual stories. Then I had to delete it, and I'm gonna have to take another one of him when he's doing his thing, just speaking. It's exhausting. I can't keep up.
Steve, speak.
Steve, just keep speaking. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see you out there. I'm pumped. I know you're pumped. I'm gonna try to get some photos of you out there on stage.
I know you're gonna have some really good shit for me, man.
Or we'll link up. Maybe I'll bring my flashes, my strobe lights. We could do like nighttime shit after you get off stage.
Let me know, man. Like, I'll be there.
I'll see how much shit I can bring.
When are you leaving? Sunday?
You know what's? Yeah, I'd be leaving Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
So you gotta come kick it with me and Mom.
What time are you leaving? What time is your flight on Sunday?
No, driving to go get puppy.
Oh, okay,
To go get the puppy. So I got to drive to Minnesota right after that. So it's about 10 hours. Yeah, but you know what? It's better than doing 18 hours straight. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I feel like anything after 8 hours doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just extra.
I'm gonna watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's it. And then by the time I finish it, Frodo throws the ring into the fire, and all of a sudden.
So when you pick him up, you're gonna stay there, and you're gonna come back the next day.
Probably. I don't know. We're really winging this. I don't even have a crate for him yet. We're very unorganized. I gotta get a ton of shit the next week. I want to order him that badass Impact crate. Impact crate, send the check. However,
the whole Gymshark thing, we can do it. Coming back from Columbus.
Okay, so I'll do we'll do when we
get
back.
Because I definitely would have my conditioning, but I don't want to be too ripped.
I want you to be too ripped.
You know, for them, I don't know.
I want you to be too ripped.
You know what? You got to go with Nick and his mom to pick up the puppy.
Yo, come with us to get the dog. That'd be great.
Then you get a shot eating bad food in every state. The conditioning's going to go away. Don't worry about it.
By the time we hit New York, Steve's a fat guy.
That'll be it. You'll be set.
Yeah, man. But
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll definitely work something out.
I got to burn you this music right now because it's 8:30. You probably have a meal to get.
I'm flying early in the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
John, do me a favor. Kick this outro.
So, I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week's episode of The Voice.
And Rizzles, joined by my man,
Steve Laureus.
Oh, big Stevie motherfucking hell.